Hello, my name is Sanika Dattatreya Jadhav and my roll number is 3050. ISE Activity 1, subject name Entrepreneurship Development Program, and my topic of representation is Yojnas for the Entrepreneurs. Name is Startup India Scheme. Now see the introduction of the Startups India Scheme. The Startup India Scheme is initiative launched by the Government of India in January 2016. Is a comprehensive program aimed to fostering the entrepreneurship and promoting innovation across the nation, recognizing the pivotal role of startups in driving economic growth, job creation, and technological advancement. The scheme is designed to create a conducive ecosystem that nourishes the and supports budding entrepreneurs with the focus of reducing regulatory hurdles, providing financial support for fostering the innovation and the creating a culture of the entrepreneurship. Startup India in endeavors to empower the startups to thrive and succeed in the competitive global market through various incentive benefits and the supports mechanism. The initiative aims to categorize the growth of the startups across sectors ranging from the technology and the manufacturing to agriculture and healthcare. Central to the initiative is the concept of easy to doing business, wherein startups are offered streamlined registration process, tax exceptions across to funding, access to funding, and the assistance in navigating regulatory frameworks. Additionally, the initiative promotes the collaboration between startups, leaders, academia, and the government agencies to leverage the collective expertise and resources, growth, and the innovations. Now, see the key features and the components of the Startup India scheme. First is initiative and the benefits. Startups registered under the schemes are eligible for various benefits including tax exceptions, funding supports and self-certification, complaints and the simplified regulations. Now see the startups registration. Startups can register themselves through an online portal set up by the Government of India. The registration process is relatively simple and streamlined to the facilitate easy access to benefit. Funding supports. The government has set up the funds for the startups FFS with the corpus of rupees 10,000 crore to provide the financial support to startups. The FFS invest in ACBI registered alternative investment funds, that is AIFS, which is turn invest in the startups. Next is tax exceptions. Startups are eligible for various tax exemptions under the scheme, including the 3-year exceptions from the income tax subject to meeting certain criteria. Innovation and research and develop R&D. The scheme encourages startups to focus on the innovation and R&D activities by providing support for patent filing and fast tracking of the patent examination. Next is easy to doing business. Startups India aims to easy regulatory burden on startups by introducing self-certification compliance across the various labor and environmental laws. Next is incubation and the acceleration. The scheme promotes the establishment of incubation centers, startups hubs, and the innovation centers across the country to provide the mentoring, networking, and the infrastructure supports to startups. Startups India hubs. The Startups India hub service as a single point of contact for startups to access information, resources and the support service provided by various government agencies and other stakeholders. Awareness and the outreach. The government conduct various awareness and outreach programs such as Startups Fest, roadshows, and workshops to promote entrepreneurships and educate stakeholders about the benefits of the schemes. Women entrepreneurship. Startups India also focus on promoting the women's entrepreneurship by providing special incentives and the supports programs for women's lead startups. Procedure to apply for the Startups India scheme. Eligibility check. Before applying for the Startups India scheme, ensure your venture meets the eligibility criteria set by the government. Typically, startups is defined as an entity that is registered in India, has been the operation for up to 10 years from the date of its incorporation for registration, and has an annual turnover not exceeding rupees 100 crores in any of the preceding financial years. Second one is the online registration. Visit the official Startups India website, that is the https www.startupsindia.gov.in, and navigate to the Startups Recognition section. Create an account on a portal and complete the registration procedure by providing the necessary details about the startups, including its name, register number, date of the incorporation, and other relevant information. Third step is self-certification. As a part of the certification process, startups are required to self-certificates and their eligibility criteria through a simple online form. This self-certification process enables startups to avail various benefits and the consequence under the scheme. Next one is documentation. Prepare and submit the required documents along with your registered application. The documents typically includes certificate of incorporation, registration. Second one is details of director or the partner, description of the business and its products or services, in which we give the detailed information about our startup or our business. Next one is proof of the concept. It's available. If available, any proof you have of your plans idea about the your business, any other relevant documents as specified by the government. The documents mentioned by the government, it can be provided in that portal. Next one step is review and approval. Once you have submitted your application and the documents, they will be reviewed by the concurrent authorities. If your startup meets the eligibility criteria and fulfill the necessary requirements, it will be granted recognition under the Startup India scheme. If your field information is uh, valid and when it is all correct, then it is approved by the authenticators, and then you proceed for next step. Next is avail benefits. Upon successful recognition, your startups becomes eligible to avail various benefits and incentives provided under the Startups India scheme, including tax exemptions, funding supports, self-certification, complaints, fast tracking of patent examinations, and access to the network and mentoring opportunities. The next one is complaints. Ensure that your startups remains compliant with the ongoing requirements and regulations specified by the government to the continue availing and the benefits of the Startups India scheme. That's all about the key features. Now we see the what is the eligibility criteria for the Startup India scheme. The first thing we have to notice that entity type. The startup must be registered as a private limited company, a limited liability partnership, or a registered partnership firm under the Indian Partnership Act 1932. It means your startup is approved by the limited liability partnerships, that is LLP. And the next is the date of incorporation. The startup should be incorporated or registered in India not more than 10 years ago from the date of application. When you registered your startup on its application, it less than 10 years ago, it and the next is annual turnover. The annual turnover of the startup should not exceeds 10 100 crores rupees in any of the preceding financial year since its incorporation. Means last years, last many years, your profit should not be greater than the 100 crores. It's less than 100 crores. uh, Innovation and the scalability. The startup should be working towards initiative, development, deployment, or the commercialization of new products, process, or the services driven by technology or the intellectual properties. It means your startup should be scalable and initiative. It has something new, creative. That's all. And the next one is a certification. Of course, startup must self certify that they meet the criteria mentioned above via simple online form during the registration process. That's it. These all the eligibility criteria for the application, for applied startup India schemes. Now let's conclude the topic. Startup India has promoted collaboration between startups, industry players, academia, and the government's agencies, for fostering a culture of the entrepreneurship and knowledge sharing essential for sustained growth and the innovation. It means the motto of this Startup India is to promote the new youths for entered into the market for startups, and it helps the industries player and government agencies and all through the initiatives such as tax exemptions, funding supports, self-certification, compliance, compliance, and the streamlined regulation. Startup India has helped reduce barrier to entry for the aspiring entrepreneurs and facilitated the establishment and growth of the startup across the diverse sector. It helps, of course, this scheme helps uh, in various sectors to promote the youth to enter in the new market for with their project, new ideas, new startups. um, for that it helps by funding, giving the technologies and self certification support by the giving funds and the tax. That's all. Overall, the startups India send as testaments to the government's commitment to the promoting the entrepreneurship and the innovation as drivers of economic development. Impact continues to shape the landscape of the India startup ecosystem positively. It helps in the uh, promoting the India ecosystem. That's it. And thank you for watching.